Are we wrong? Yes, we are. What's up, guys? It's your boy McKinley Crain here, and today I'm going to be doing my spoiler-free review of Season 2, the entire Season 2 of the FX Marvel Television X-Men show, Legion. So anyway, Legion is a horror show that combines it blends genres. It's overall it's a horror show, but I've noticed that there's a lot of drama and a lot of action in there too, and there's even some humor. And if you watched my season 1 review, you'll know that I loved season 1 and I love this show. Season 1 was perfect, and let me just say, Season 2 was also perfect. Season 2 was also awesome. Was Season 2 as good as Season 1? Well, I like Season 1 a little bit better, but Season 2 was still perfect and awesome. Anyway, so this series, aka this season, stars Dan Stevens as David Haller. And David Haller, aka Legion, is like a mutant who was diagnosed with schizophrenia as a child, and he hears things, and he has this telepathic all these telepathic powers, and he hears things. And in season 1 he finds out that he doesn't have schizophrenia, and all those voices he was hearing were real, and that he's a mutant. And he also meets his love interest and his girlfriend, Cindy Barrett, who's played by Rachel Keller. And he learns a lot about his past. He joins a group of mutants, and he fights the Shadow King. And in this season he continues his fight with the Shadow King. His fight with the Shadow King is not over. So I just finished watching season 2 yesterday. I'm on season 3 now, and it's great. It's awesome. This is a very bingeable show, and this is a very bingeable season. There are episodes of this season that are better than other episodes of this season, but all of the episodes are perfect. I love this show. This show is awesome. It's just a really engrossing and thrilling show. One of the things that so Legion season 1 was overall superior, a little bit more superior than this season was, but there are some things that I think that season 2 did better than season 1. Specifically, I like what season 2 did with the Shadow King. I like how they actually showed him in his human form, and gave him kind of a personality. Well, I wouldn't say that. Expanded on his personality. Legion season 1 expanded on the Shadow King's personality perfectly, and awesomely, and they they only like, hid the parts of the personality that, you weren't supposed to like know about in season 1. There was nothing wrong with season 1 at all. Season 1 was also perfect. And season 1 was better overall than season 2. But, I do think that season 2, handled the Shadow King, the Shadow King's character a little better than season 1. I just like the Shadow King's new look. It's great. It's mysterious. And it's awesome. Anyway, like the first season, this season, is very mind-bending and purposely confusing. You have to like really pay attention to the details in the show, to like all the little things in the show, and that's part of what makes this show so perfect. Anyway, the acting is perfect, especially from David Haller himself, who's played by Dan Stevens. He gave the best performance in this whole season, although the whole cast gives perfect performances in my opinion. But Dan Stevens gives the best performance overall. Anyway, I loved all the directions and all the risks that the season took. They were all perfect. I loved everything about this season, and I love everything about the show. The show is perfect. The season is perfect. I love the shocking finale. I loved the shocking season finale of this season. It wasn't my favorite episode of the season, but it's the last episode, so I thought it was like the season finale. It's the last episode of this season, so I thought it's important to mention it. The season finale of this season is my second favorite episode of this season. My favorite episode of this season is the 4th episode of this season. I think that episode is just superior. I just like what it did more. Anyway, I love this show, and I love all of these characters. I actually care about all of these characters. This show is so good at making us care about their characters. The characters in this show are very in depth, and they're very likable characters. And I really enjoy just watching them communicate with each other. All the characters have great chemistry with each other, especially David Haller and Sydney Barrett. Just like the first season, their chemistry with each other is awesome. It's some of the best I've seen in film and television. If you group those into both into one category, period. Even when these characters are fighting, they just work so well together. I just love seeing them communicate. And I love everything about this show. I love everything about this season. I love the bizarre nature of this series. I love the bizarre nature of this season. I love every single episode. There hasn't been a bad episode of Legion ever. And there's probably not even a single bad episode. I haven't finished season 3 yet. I just got started. I've only seen 2 episodes of season 3. I'm gonna watch the 3rd one tomorrow or the day after. Anyway, and I can't wait to finish it. I love this show, and I love this season. This season and this show are just perfect. It's perfection. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who didn't already know, Legion is canon to the Fox X-Men movies. It's not like mainline canon, like, directly tying into the movies, just like the whole story of the movies. Like, it's not like there are like a billion references to this character in the movies, to the show in the movies, or a billion references to the movies in the show. But, it takes place in the universe, the same universe, like the same canon as the movies do. And there are some references to, like, the movies in this show. And I love what this show does. I love its creativity. I love its bizarreness. I love its themes. Like, I love how clever it is. I love the writing. The writing is clever. It's witty. Well, okay, so witty wouldn't be the word, because it's writing. It's like script writing. The dialogue is witty. The script is clever, interesting, engaging. The writing is clever, interesting, engaging, smart, and satisfying. The show has some of the best writing I've ever seen on television. This show has great pacing. I love the pacing of this show. I just love everything the show does, and I love every single moment of the show. Like, and every single moment of the season. I loved season 2. I love season 1. They're both perfect. Like I said, season 1, in my opinion, is superior overall. But season 2 is almost as good as season 1. I just like season 1 a little bit better. And this season introduces, like, some new characters into this show, and they're all great, and a lot of them are very bizarre, and they work. And this season, like, expands on, like, a lot of characters from season 1's stories, and that's great. This season, like, takes a lot of risks, and that makes this show and this season even better. Anyway, I'm gonna give this season a 100% out of 100%, just like I gave the previous season when I reviewed it. Anyway, and let me say that again. I'm gonna give this show a 100%. Oh, I'm gonna give this season a 100% out of 100%, which is the equivalent of an A+. Like, subscribe, join the notification squad. I will return.